This Nolan Wells case is embarrassing. Did anybody see the press conference this morning with Ben Crump talking about the second autopsy that they had to do? Let me sum it up for you really quick. I got you, don't worry. So, they did, the second autopsy, and, it says...
With this whole Nolan Wells case, I understand that the family needed the publicity and the exposure to get the story out about what happened to their son. But at this point, I feel like this is just a setup for the settlement. The publicity and then the payoff. That's how it goes. If y'all did not know, let me let y'all know. It's the publicity, being on all the news stations, all the big content creator channels, and then the payout. Y'all ain't gonna hear nothing about Nolan Wells after this. Ain't gonna be no foundation, ain't gonna be no organization, ain't gonna be no street named after him. It is gonna go away quietly. So when you hire Benjamin Crump, if you ever have enough paper to hire Benjamin Crump, even though he can't read and he talk like an Alabama country bumpkin, if you ever hire Benjamin Crump, that means you want the biggest payout settlement. So right now, that judge and her family and all of them, they getting the money together to pay off the Nolan Wells family. We'll never hear about this case again.
This Nolan Wells case is embarrassing. Did anybody see the press conference this morning with Ben Crump talking about the second autopsy that they had to do? Let me sum it up for you really quick. I got you, don't worry. So, they did, the second autopsy, and, it says... the neck was missing. The neck. But it says that it was standard procedure. The first autopsy that Nolan had, the medical examiner removed the neck because he had to further investigate if anything was going on. That is standard procedure, but the neck was missing. Them white boys probably had something to do with that. And then it says, right, it says the body was so bad, right? Bless Mama Wells. The body was so bad and cut up, because it was an autopsy. But the body, it says here that the body was so bad and the decompensation of the body was so rough, and it was hard to identify the different things. If Nolan could have had bruises, lacerations, signs of struggle, we won't know because of the decompensation of the body. So we don't know. But it's important right here. Don't forget this information right here. Something very important. The medical examiner said he could not rule out foul play. Okay? Them white boys could have did something, but it's not confirmed. He cannot confirm or deny if anything necessarily happened to Nolan. So in conclusion, we didn't get nothing out of this second autopsy. It says that it is undetermined, and he did leave us with some questions though. He said the medical examiner that we hired with y'all's money, he has 7 years of experience. And he said some question for us is, well, how was Nolan's body positioned when he was found? That's an important question that we needed y'all's 100,000 for. He said, I need to further investigate what happened to his lungs to see if there was a drown or if there was any foul play. I need to further investigate, but I can't do that because his neck was missing, and his lungs and all of these organs inside. So our medical examiner he's not allowed to do his job because he's waiting on the body parts from the first autopsy that hasn't came back yet. So we don't have anything today. It's undetermined, but we gonna get them white boys. Okay, they did something for Nolan Wells. Say his name. Nolan. Life matters.
I agree. Ben Crump is very hard to listen to, and I think he caused a little bit of confusion with the autopsy results being undetermined. But just to clarify from my last video, parts of his throat, his throat in its entirety is missing. Throat can make up different parts, okay? It's not uncommon for medical examiners to take out the organs from the body, examine it, and then put the organs in a bag. And if a second or independent autopsy is performed, they ship those parts separately from the body itself. The thing is that the lungs have not arrived to the independent medical examiner. The lungs have not arrived. I believe they are still waiting on the stomach because they want to determine, if he ate, is there any type of, I won't say drugs, but what's been found in his stomach. And there was bruising on the back of his head. But again, they can't determine if that bruising is from foul play. Did he fall? Was, aquatic life part of his bruising and the deterioration of his body? Was he in the water for a long period of time? Did he breathe in the water, which would have let them know if he was even alive at the time of his death? But Ben Crump, just the way he talks, bruh, it's just like, I'm not trying to discredit him. The man's an attorney. He's obviously way more intelligent than I'll ever be. But it's just, I wish they would have had somebody who had medical terminology, some type of standard of practice or whatever, who could explain this to everybody in medical terms, but in simplest terms possible. But it doesn't change the fact that it's still under investigation, which I kind of figured it would lead to this. And if I had to guess, I'm kind of leaning more towards foul play.
Once there was a girl.
It's sad that the world we live in, that Don Lemon is showing Ben Crump read the autopsy report of Nolan Wells, and the people in the comments saying that Ben Crump can't read. Can somebody else please explain it? We lost. And Ben Crump really can't read. That's the funny part.
And no, I couldn't watch that autopsy because them words was turning Ben Crump every which way but loose, and it was getting on my nerves. Between that, the microphone, it was just too much for me. So I'm going to have to listen to somebody's recap of what happened.
People, keep it a bean with y'all. This is the part where we got to step as a community, start calling out the bullshit with our own community in order so we can keep our integrity and reputation as people that go for the truth, want the truth, and not trying to play victim. We not trying to be the villain either. But Attorney Ben, my boy, I'm not going to lie. You representing too many cases. I think you done lost your luster, your aura, all of that. It's gone, in my opinion. This is why. There's just certain things, my boy, that you're not educated in and not intelligent enough to articulate. And that's just a respectful way of saying it. When you took your ass up there and spoke for the family on their behalf, I would rather have heard a pathologist go through that information, even if it wasn't the one that did the actual research and did the actual autopsy. You should have had a professional that is an expert in that speak on it. The same way that you as an attorney would not get on a stand and be a pum shot residue expert. You would not be a detective. You would not be the pathologist on trial. It is hard for me, a person that wants to know the truth about something, hear somebody struggle to give information and have a horrid ability to articulate what happened to where people are gasping in the audience because you don't word the things correctly and you cannot answer questions in the way it deems necessary for us that are unintelligent and those that are intelligent to understand coherently what you're saying cohesively together. That way we can defend the family. That way we can get justice for Nolan Wells if that is the case. No, we can't rule it as a drowning right now. And I agree with that. Yes, there looks like foul play that's going on. Yes, it's weird that the boy went over there with Officer Tatum, who is literally a far right extremist. And that makes me even more suspicious of the boys, because why not go to a neutral journalist and tell the story rather than wait 3 weeks after the event, have time to speak to your attorneys, and you still show consistent behaviors of someone who is nervous? Because I can go look at other videos of you talking talking, and you never exhibit those same behaviors. So where I do still believe there's foul play in all of this, Ben, you have done a great job on making the narrative that he actually drowned and that now black people are just reaching for BS in order to get a conviction of people that may think these boys are innocent. And I did this for a reason. So what I would have liked to see is I would have liked to hear an expert have broken it down, because they would have gave us a better understanding of what's going on. And this is my last part and I'll end. If there wasn't a conclusive way either way, and you need the throat in order to understand it, if you still need testimony and all that, you should have shut the hell up until you got everything in and then do a press conference. All that LeBron, but I get it. All these people spoke publicly before and they're quiet on this. There's a reason why. People need the facts. Trayvon was cut and dry. Mike Brown, Breonna Taylor, cut and dry. George Floyd, cut and dry, because we seen it with our own two eyes. We couldn't see Nolan. Therefore, you need to get your facts straight before you say, oh, we don't know. Then it shouldn't have came out yet. Because right now, you helping Mississippi cover it up, because now all they got to do is come out and be like, he drowned. Hey, we'll send you the throat. Here you go. Now, I would like the throat to be put on, you know what I'm saying? That's still important. And the bruising on the back of the neck can mean a million of things. But when I tell you, it just adds more questions than it answered any. It answered none. And that's what I'm disappointed, because as an attorney, you're supposed to understand strategy, but you filled your plate with too many of these stories. Let somebody else handle these cases from now on. Retire, my boy. You're starting to look funny. And that's me being objective as a black man, because something happened and I want justice for that young man. But you screwed it up today.
There are no lacerations of the overlaying skin nor fractures of the underlying skull. These findings are inconclusive for perimortem injury due to both the extensive decomposition and the absence of associated injuries. This pathologist cannot rule out if any intervening non-accidental factors contributed to or caused the death of Nolan Wells. Based on the examination of the body, he cannot rule out foul play.